Nickelodeon, one of the most iconic and recognizable brands in television history. Known for its countless memorable shows, it was home to some of the most creative programming ever made. But above all, it's synonymous with its biggest hit, SpongeBob SquarePants. The show needs no introduction, as it only propelled Nickelodeon to greater heights, but also, ironically, became the catalyst for its decline. It all seemed so sudden, didn't it? After the 2000s, the channel lost its charm almost overnight. What happened? What caused the creativity and magic behind the orange splat to disappear? Did the people at Nickelodeon stop caring? Were they simply burnt out? Well, the answer traces back to a single event, a marathon that went disastrously wrong, an event Nickelodeon would rather erase from history. But despite their attempts to bury it, the fallout lingered, tarnishing their reputation and marking a decline in the quality of their shows. This remains one of the most infamous scandals in television history. We're talking about none other than the ultimate SpongeBob Sponge Bash. On July 17th, Nickelodeon hosted a special event to celebrate the 10th anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants. The marathon featured segments like Top 10 Picks, showcasing fan-favorite episodes, and Celebrity Favorites, where stars shared their favorite episodes, like Jerry Trainer, who highlighted Muscle Ball Buff Pants. And last but not least, the premiere of 12 brand new SpongeBob episodes, with the most anticipated and heavily promoted being To SquarePants or Not to SquarePants, which was also the first episode that launched the event and the first one to premiere out of all the other new episodes. With this insane marketing campaign, this marathon was designed to be Nickelodeon's biggest and most memorable celebration, a landmark event in the channel's history. However, something went wrong. And by wrong, I mean horribly wrong. And while the event did certainly become one of Nickelodeon's most talked about events, it wasn't for the reasons they had hoped. Something deeply troubling was happening behind the scenes at the animation studio. As SpongeBob SquarePants skyrocketed in popularity ever since the early 2000s, the studio became consumed by an insatiable hunger for profit, profits that had to be made quickly, no matter the cost. And the ones who paid the price were the hardworking animators and staff. With SpongeBob's growing fame came swelling egos and unchecked arrogance among studio executives. By 2009, as the marathon approached, the relentless demand for more SpongeBob content translated into increasingly harsh working conditions. The atmosphere in the studio allegedly became unbearable. Employees described an environment where management was dismissive, deadlines that were just ridiculous, and staff that were overworked to the brink of exhaustion. The mental toll was immense, and the stress seeped into every frame of animation, part of the reason why the show's quality noticeably declined during this era. But this unsustainable cycle wouldn't and couldn't last forever. Enter Armand Raphael Ramsey. Armand joined Nickelodeon around 2003, and at first he was welcomed warmly by the staff and colleagues who would later become his friends. But as the years went by, the worsening attitude and toxic environment within the studio began to take a heavy toll on him. The relentless stress, the impossible deadlines, and the blatant disregard for the well-being of employees started to wear Armand down. His personality began to deteriorate. He became bitter, often wishing the worst for those around him, without even realizing what he was saying. Sleepless nights became the norm, and the overwhelming pressure even led to hallucinations. He could no longer endure it. The stress, the abuse, and the suffocating mantra of "more SpongeBob" echoing through every corner of the studio. To Armand, every employee had been reduced to nothing more than lifeless tools. Machines programmed to churn out profit, their voices silenced, their struggles ignored. Armand made a decision. Enough was enough. Together with a group of trusted friends he had met at the studio, Armand devised a plan for revenge. They knew the ultimate SpongeBob Sponge Bash would attract millions of eyes to Nickelodeon, making it the perfect stage for their message. Their goal was clear: sabotage the marathon and expose the harsh reality behind the cheerful facade of the channel. They were determined to show the true face of Nickelodeon, no matter the consequences, for the whole world to see. On July 17, 2009, viewers tuned into Nickelodeon, eagerly awaiting the start of the ultimate SpongeBob Sponge Bash. Across forums and chat rooms, multiple Nickelodeon and SpongeBob fans gathered to share their excitement and expectations for what promised to be a historic marathon. But as the anticipation built, some viewers began to notice something odd. Something wasn't quite right with Nickelodeon's broadcast. Fortunately, 2 clips of these strange occurrences still exist, the iCarly and Dora the Explorer respectively, the latter coming from a YouTube upload that, surprisingly, has never been taken down. But here's the thing. These glitches weren't technical issues. They were something far more deliberate, an intentional act of sabotage, and yet most viewers didn't caught on. Take a look at these 2 clips and see if you can spot what's truly off about them.
Island on the boat.
Una moneda, por favor. Por favor.
Plant or to the environment. Is that supposed to happen? No.
No, I don't. Back?
Oh, yeah, sure.
This is a pepperoni stick.
Oh my god, I'm in trouble.
Look, we'd love to hang out and talk.
For a brief moment, a message flickered on the screen. It was nearly impossible to read, distorted by heavy glitches and, oddly enough, displayed backwards. Whether this was an accident or an intentional choice is unknown, though. But after careful analysis, the message was clear. They were warning Nickelodeon to cease the entire event, or else they were going to ruin the marathon with these signal intrusions. As seen in these clips, Nickelodeon's engineers acted swiftly, restoring normal programming in a matter of seconds. We don't know if they ever noticed this cryptic message, but if they did, they likely dismissed it. To them, it must have seemed like a minor hiccup, something easily wiped away and forgotten, perhaps assuming it was the work of pranksters attempting to interfere with their signal.
There's an
When the marathon finally began at 8 o'clock p.m.,
There's an
only just getting started.
There's an
Thanks to the many SpongeBob fans
Please
who
get
put
out
the
there,
event
it's
live on
all
VHS,
fucking
DVD, or digital devices. Nearly every strange occurrence from those 3 days of the marathon has been preserved. Recovering these recordings wasn't easy, but as of right now, we have access to most, if not all, of the anomalies that plagued the marathon. Most importantly, however, the recording of the alleged resignation letter. But more on that later. Each clip gets more disturbing than the last, escalating to points where Nickelodeon's engineers struggle to stop the intrusions, or, in some cases, couldn't stop them at all. Now, I'll play each recording that has been recovered and analyze them in detail where possible.
I see you even brought your double.
Yep, it's street fun.
Don't you mean?
Horrible storm!
You heard me. Panic is not advised, although it is.
Patrick, help me get these boards nailed up.
SpongeBob, this seems like a strange time to start decorating.
We'll be right back with the greatest SpongeBob freakout.
Things began to escalate noticeably with these two clips. In the first clip, during an airing of the episode Pineapple Fever, the audio glitches out almost immediately, and suddenly SpongeBob and Patrick simply disappear. Adding to the strangeness, the message at the bottom of the screen changes, a clear indication that the perpetrators had infiltrated Nickelodeon's system, modifying the episode in text on screen. Eventually, the episode resumes as normal, but the moment left viewers unsettled. The second clip, however, is even more bizarre and far more targeted against Nickelodeon itself. What makes this clip especially odd is the lack of a confirmed time frame. Interestingly, the footage begins with a technical difficulty screen. Multiple users claim it occurred around the start of Single Cell Anniversary, which aired at 9:15 p.m., and claimed they saw a mad plankton staring at the screen. Unfortunately, this means that this clip isn't complete and we don't see what happened prior to this. Whatever the case, these clips were only a small taste of the chaos that was about to unfold.
What's next? Milkshakes? Full-time French fries? Forget my dumb idea. That's
Tough, you're smart, and you are charming, but you are still. Look! Mustache!
Okay, things got serious now. In the first clip, the scene from Patty Hype, where Mr. Krabs and Squidward laugh at SpongeBob, it suddenly transforms into something deeply unsettling. Mr. Krabs and Squidward appear soulless, while SpongeBob seems to be hyperventilating. As for the second clip, well, let's just say I won't be sleeping tonight. They really should have let this episode play out normally. It was already grotesque enough on its own. By this point, it's no wonder that online forums were buzzing with shock and confusion over what was unfolding. Little did they know, the situation was about to get worse.
No, I didn't tell her about the tape. You know she is with this shit? I highly doubt she'd have a panic attack. It's just a game. Besides, where'd you get it anyway?
Well, surprisingly enough, I thought it got Chelsea's the other day for $6.99.
Hey everybody, that's it for tonight, but you can still check out more Cartoon Network.
Yeah, go online now to watch clips and play games.
Or check out video on demand on your phone, computer, or tablet.
Yeah, it's really easy. Well, as long as you have thumb.
It was a completely different type of feel to it.
Is that why I had the Steel Moms TV? Yeah.
No, it's just, I found the game oddly boring. You know, I've never seen a VHS game either like this before, so...
I mean, I'm willing to try any game once, and the ones we have here and at your place have been getting a little boring.
True.
There's only so many times you can play Chutes and Ladders.
Exactly. But there was one thing that kind of caught me off guard though. When I was purchasing it, the guy at the counter seemed really taken aback. He didn't like urge me out to buy it or anything, but I think just how I assumed that something was off, you know. And when I got home, I did more digging and there was one. When they were making the game, this company that makes this game from Australia, but when they were making the doll for the game, which is part of the live action physics for this, apparently a young Asian girl got stuck on one of the machines and she got hurt by it.
Oh, it sounds like a freak accident. You think he heard about it? That's why he was freaking out a little bit?
I don't know, but there's more. There's more. Like, apparently the mom got so curious she put a curse on the doll, and it's alleged that several copies of the game are known to have strange attachments to them or show different signals or signs to people that are unholy and unfathomably incomprehensible. I don't even know how you describe it. It sounds scary and it sounds weird, but it's like, I don't know, it's something that just is adding up to it. It's not a good way.
Adding up?
Yes.
What I hear is a lot of bullshit. That's what I hear.
In the first
There's no way someone's gonna make me believe that a game is fun.
we see the emotional scene of SpongeBob contradicts now. The entire setting erupts in flames, and a disturbing version of SpongeBob, made of eyes and ears, start directly at the viewer. Scrolling text mocks Nickelodeon for failing to act against its instructions, basically explaining they were criticizing their employees instead of improving its company. The second element is Buttons Jam, one of the most infamous occurrences alongside the resignation of all sides. In this sequence, SpongeBob's development is completely unhinged. The atmosphere is full of tension and surprise. All shockingly aside, it's evident that these two groups carry different elements.
So, this is place. You can do this is the place. I think this is a good idea. But I think you should like it. It's like really good. I don't think that's a good idea. It would be in trouble.
Why did the door open so what's going on?
Come on, Andy. Everyone else is going. Unless you want to stay out here all by yourself.
Wow. How do you stop? Like, do you have one? I don't know.
Yeah, it is a little weird. Oh, you're a boss.
I don't know, Billy.
What do you think? You're the listener. I have no idea.
Guys, hold that. Over there, in the hallway. I think I saw their stove. I you know what's the best. I enjoy my life. Don't touch the boat.
If we're gonna find this stove, we're gonna have to split the group.
The message here is that you're really bad and you also means that possible
Save the group. No disease is
not only will
I'm
never worked out. There's no sense in
guys, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm kind of scared.
I don't need a flashlight. I can use this.
Oh, but guys, I don't even have a light.
brought some shocking developments. The beloved TV channel, Nickelodeon, famous worldwide for its iconic cartoons like SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly OddParents, and many others, has found itself at the center of an escalating crisis. What started off as brief and puzzling intrusions has now spiraled into something much more concerning. The climax of this all was a message resembling a resignation letter delivered in a chilling final broadcast yesterday evening. The network has been facing ongoing stresses from staff members across multiple departments, primary concerning working conditions, wages, and allegations of mismanagement. The authorities have already identified a few people of interest, mainly the 27-year-old man, Armin Ramsey, who was confirmed to have worked at the company and is said to be the head of all this. One thing is clear. It's a wake-up call for the entire broadcasting industry.
The Ultimate SpongeBob Sponge Bash continued to air the remaining episodes as scheduled, though the signal attacks had already ceased. By this point, it was clear that many within the company were far from pleased. If given the choice, they might have cancelled the marathon altogether. In the remaining 15 hours, news of the hijackings and the chaos behind the scenes at Nickelodeon had already begun to spread. Ironically, the marketing campaign for the event backfired, drawing even more attention to the intrusions and making them the main reason why viewers tuned in. The marathon concluded with the final rerun of To SquarePants or Not to SquarePants, followed by a live apology from Nickelodeon's team in response to the escalating backlash and a flood of angry phone calls from parents. Needless to say, the event was a disaster. The so-called Afterbash never happened, and Nickelodeon quickly distanced itself from anything related to the SpongeBob Sponge Bash, and so did the viewers of 2009. Everyone wanted to forget this catastrophe, and to hope that the world would move on. In retrospect, the Ultimate SpongeBob Sponge Bash went from what was intended to be the biggest SpongeBob celebration ever into a pivotal moment for Nickelodeon, television history, and broadcast security management. It left many viewers traumatized, and Nickelodeon made extensive efforts to erase any trace of the signal intrusions. These efforts were likely aimed at preventing reminders of the incident, shielding future audiences from such content, or perhaps continuing to hide the truth. As for Armand Raphael Ramsey, little is known about him. According to some sources, the FCC apprehended him many months later, and he was arrested. However, details about his sentencing remain unclear, along with the identities of his collaborators, as well as the methods they used to hijack the channel. It is believed that information about Armand has been kept confidential, though, ever since. Regarding the hijackings, some interruptions appear to have deeper meanings beyond shock value and damaging Nickelodeon's reputation. The Patty Hype interruption seemingly highlighted the bullying and mistreatment Armand and his colleagues endured at the studio. The Help Wanted interruption reflected intrusive, vengeful thoughts, possibly mirroring Armand's frustrations with the staff. The second-to-last interruption symbolized his resignation. With that said, however, many have questioned the extreme measures taken, like, hijacking a station. The actions of Armand and his accomplices have often been described, even by Nickelodeon's own team, as over-exaggerated or immature, especially considering the severe penalties for signal hijackings. While some argue that Nickelodeon deserved it, it's undeniable that the hijacking went too far. But regardless, they succeeded in their mission. Nickelodeon faced significant backlash, with numerous resignations and its reputation irreparably damaged. The channel has not been the same since.